regarding the unbelievable. You're not buying $13 million, right? You saw that. If that's true, we should all get out the game and call it a day.
If that's true, then whoever signed that deal in Gainesville is insane and does not know what the market means.
Also, they don't have the money because apparently that's one of the reasons why he's like, I want out.
Who does?
Nobody. That's dumb. Even if you have it, if you spend that on a kid that's never played college football, you're a dumbass.
The way this would go is if, in fact, 13 is a real figure.
Yeah, so this is bad radio on my part. There are a bunch of put the cart in front of the horse. We got to do the right thing here. So there was a report that a player, for those that are not in the know, Jaden Rashada is a quarterback that was allegedly, he's a 4-star kid at that, was allegedly. It's not Arch Manning. It's not, it's not like some kid that feels like I can't miss, or
it's not
Jameis Winston, or
Fields at the time when he was in high school.
Yeah, go on down the list of guys, right? So he's a quarterback, and it is alleged that the way that Florida got him to commit was to offer him an NIL deal worth $13 million, and now he wants out of that deal or his commitment to Florida. Allegedly, these are all internet-born rumors. I don't know what has been verified.
According to a guy named Slash Bread.
The Bro Bible. So the whole thing, dubious at best, but allegedly Florida offered him $13 million, and that $13 million isn't there, and the kid's like, well, then if it's not there, I don't want to be here. And everybody saw that on Twitter yesterday and went, $13 million? What? For a kid that's never played a down at college football, what are we doing here? And again, I don't know if that is true or not. I laughed at it. It wasn't a good look for Florida across the board. So any negative news that negatively impacts Florida, I'm for.
Boy, and they are the opposite of us.
They can't get in the portal to save their life.
Nope.
I find that strange too. The stuff that's it's a very fluid situation, Tom. The world of college football is very, very weird right now. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's good. It's just very strange right now. What to believe, what's real, what isn't real. Some of these numbers seem a bit far-fetched, to say the least.
If that number was accurate, let's assume that for just a moment.
Yeah, and I don't believe that it is.
The negotiation would have gone something like, all right, everybody, I need your best and final offer. Miami, 1.2. Maybe you can vest up to 2. I don't know, over the course of your time.
Mm-hmm.
Ohio State, so-and-so. And the best one is, all right, Jalen, I know we got to open this envelope from Florida, but I don't know. Their NIL game's not strong. So we're looking at between 1 and 2. Not bad. $13 million?
Guess where you're going to school?
To Gainesville we go.
First of all, again, if you're giving a 4-star high school prospect over $1 million to come play for you, that's nuts. That's nuts. This has to be as big a can't miss as there possibly could be. And there have been very few of those in the history of the game. In the history of college football, there have been very few individuals coming out of high school rightly tabbed by all who cover the game, coach the game, watch the game, invest in the game, who said, can't miss, guaranteed superstardom, will be there as little amount of time as possible, transcend the school, and take it to the league. They exist, but very few.
Yeah, how much would Dupree have made? Days?
Right.
Marcus Dupree.
Right, yes. That was really one of the good 30 for 30s. One of the very, very good.
That's a dude that would translate today and dominate today. Yeah. Just watching him. But
that's one of the guys, Tom, that you and I have talked about where our age difference comes into play. And that's a double whammy for me because he ended up being an Oklahoma guy. And I can remember my granddad's enthusiasm for that. Like, we got him. All right. He was so excited. The whole country wanted that kid, obviously, because he was a grown-ass man looking like he was in his late 40s when he came out of high school.
But that dude wouldn't command $5 million, let alone $13 million.
He's a running back. They're a dime a dozen. Stop it. It's just, yeah. There's just no way. I mean, now, it's funny. Now, to bring it back home, Michael does right off the bat. I didn't even plan on opening with this, but it's probably omnipresent of every college football fan's mind right now because we're all monitoring this NIL very carefully, and we're all watching, obviously, the transfer portal and everything else very carefully. It's been very, 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 very positive for Florida State so far, which is interesting because when the Travis Hunter debacle happened, you thought, well, we're off on the wrong foot in this new era of college football. This is not good. We are the example, the cautionary tale. We don't want to be the example that all the other programs use, with regarding elite recruits. But we were for like half a second.
Yeah. Don't get Travis Hunter. Don't get Mike Norvell, whatever you wanted to say.
Right. That was us for a second. But it's interesting because Michael brings up what would have Jameis Winston got. Because most recently of the players at high-profile schools and Power 5 conferences that went on to have the predicted success once acquiring said players' services, Jameis is one of the first to come to mind. I bet that's true of most fans in college football because and I know, we kind of don't care. There's a buffer between us and the hardcore recruitniks. We're not that. We work for a website that has an element of that without question.
A wing, yeah.
All team sites have that wing, and it's important. And we acknowledge the importance of recruiting, and it is interesting, but I'm not immersed in it the way the recruitniks, the way you would describe somebody as a recruitnik. And again, I'm not even judging that per se. It's just not my thing. But that was a guy that everybody said, yeah, man, it's different. He's transcendent. He's going to be great. There's a very good chance that the team, because I said that to you, when I had a conversation with somebody who's in the recruiting game and whose knowledge I respect, said to me, Jeff, there's a very good chance that whoever gets Jameis Winston is going to win the national title before he leaves. He's that kind of good. And he said it straight-faced, and he wasn't prone to hyperbole. That's how good he is. So keep that in mind as we have this discussion. What is somebody like that worth right now? Where you would say, yeah, that guy's that kind of good. Probably like number one pick in the draft kind of good. Well, James turned out to do that. He turned out to win the Heisman, the national trophy, was the number one pick, changes the profile of the university yet again, all of that stuff. What's that worth to a team now? I don't know. And how many guys since Jameis have been tabbed that? And has anybody been accurately tabbed that?
What's interesting is in this day and age, now you're going to know the name of that player, Jameis Winston, before they ever take the field, even if you're a casual fan. I think that's what's graduated here is that because the money is so high, it's like anything else. Quiz Show, one of our favorite movies.
I love that movie.
They don't watch the contestants. They want to watch the money. That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what NIL has done for the casual college football fan. They've now tuned in. Usually early signing day was for the hardcores or people that lived in this region specifically of the country. But now, for example, Jameis, when he came here, that was a big story on signing day.
Very big.
He was on a television network doing his commitment ceremony. Huge deal. And then anonymous for a year, right? Like we knew about him. He was lingering in the future, but we had AJ Manuel and all that kind of stuff, the expectations for 2012. So most fans, and in turn, it actually kind of clouded the discussion of what happened off the field with Jameis. Most everybody didn't really know who Jameis was. He had a video that went viral where he was dropping F-bombs, praising EJ for the comeback against Virginia Tech. Other than that, anonymous for a full year. That doesn't happen anymore. So to your point about value, by the virtue, it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Just by the virtue of commanding a huge NIL deal and being a high 4-star or low 5-star, you are now of crazy clout before you even take a snap in a way that Jameis wasn't in his time.
Yeah, it's harder than ever before. If you want to shy away from excessive and prying coverage into your day-to-day operations as a young football player at any institution, it's very difficult if you're a high-profile recruit to be able to go about your business anymore without that being documented in a way that is intrusive. You are asking 18-year-olds to mature beyond their years in many ways. And now with the money added to it, it takes a special person that can walk onto campus with the expectation. We're talking about the elite of the elite recruits, the ones that are tabbed like Jameis and others were. Trevor Lawrence, somebody brought up in the chat, it's a good point. That those kinds of kids that are tabbed the golden child, right, that come into a school and are expected to win a national title and compete for a Heisman Trophy, and usually do both. If they're a quarterback, that's especially true. It takes a special individual to be able to block that out, especially early in their career, and just
right, because
straightforward down the line, work at it.
We hardly asked a question. I'm just talking about the beat in general. Jameis didn't come up every Monday in a press conference, that first year when he was redshirting. I think that type of player will now. If they're not starting, why aren't they playing? Because people are going to click on and going to consume media that surrounds either the Rashada kid wherever he goes or Arch Manning. Like, if Arch doesn't start to begin his Texas career, every week there are going to be questions. How's Arch doing? Is Arch coming along? Is he knocking on the door? I see Arch is the second on the depth chart. How close is he to first? That's what's going to happen now. And you're right. You've got to be a special kind of adult that it's really almost impossible to be.
Well, Arch will be especially attuned to this because of the household.
Yeah, legacy helps him.
Yeah, it's certainly going to help that he's been in the spotlight since the first time he put on a helmet playing Pee Wee football because of who he was. So every high school game was covered like it was a college game, and every college game was covered. So that he'll be able to probably, I don't know, but he'll probably be able to handle it. But the average Joe that isn't that kind of exposed early, and the first time it happens is when he commits to a big-time institution with the expectations of the world, certainly that fan base that's going to win a national championship. And again, you throw in the money, it changes the dynamic. It's one thing for the hardcore fans to expect you to come in and save their institution, save their program. It's a whole nother when, like you said, it's expanded now because of the money. Everybody's very interested. How much do we have invested in this kid? All of a sudden you're under contract. Now it becomes far less collegial and far more cutthroat. Much more about, we should cut this kid. We should cut our losses. Screw this kid. I hope he transfers. This is going to be the kind of discourse you hear around 18 and 19-year-olds now when the money becomes public.
And it is the next iteration. I'm starting to get older now. 10 years ago, 11 years ago, the Johnny Manziel saga and the coverage phenomenon that was, Johnny.
Yeah.
There was a time that I can remember, too, before the TMZ-ization of sports. The Tiger scenario, like all these things. Scandal was relative to the field. It was steroids. It was cheating. It was things like that. It wasn't your escapades off the court or off the field as much that was clicked on. But then when Tiger happened, the Kobe situation in Colorado, like that became its own little, Roger Cossack, remember him?
Oh my
he made
God.
a career out of it.
Forgot about that. Yes, he did.
And then there was the Johnny stage, which was, wow, you're going to cover a freshman or a redshirt freshman this closely? And then Jameis was the one right after him. Remember, he said, if I get Johnny Manziel disease, somebody hit me upside the head. And
which was such an innocent question in an exchange and got taken. Yeah.
It was.
I was standing right there when it happened.
Me too. Callis that asked me. It was the first line on ESPN. First line of ESPN that day. I was like, oh my God, this is a different animal.
Yeah.
Then the Jameis stuff off the field took it to another level.
Obviously, yeah.
Well, here's the next step. Is now you've got the money on top of the off the field stuff that's salacious. So if any of these kids go out and party too late at night or underage drinking or whatever, and now they're, a millionaire.
You got no shot.
No.
Well, this is true. Like, while we're having the big picture discussion of what it means to be a young man or a young woman in today's world, you and I, and I shouldn't speak for you, but obviously I went to college at a time where people didn't have cell phones. Thank God. That was not a thing. You didn't worry about going out and having too much to drink one night and saying or doing something foolish and having it documented on video. Now imagine that you're that 18-year-old phenom who's away from his home for the first time, high-profile kid, adored, adulation around every turn, thought to be the savior. You got money in your pocket because that's how they got you there, beyond the scholarship, and you're out and about wanting to be popular, being fawned over, and you have too much to drink in a given night, and it is most definitely on video, and you are a fool for the nation to see.
Yes, and it's FU money on the college level.
Yes.
If you're 18 years old, even 10 grand is
20
money.
grand.
Right.
In a year for a kid that does, who's on scholarship, doesn't have to pay for food, doesn't have to pay for lodging, and he's got 20 grand walking around money.
Right. and
come on, man.
more likely 100 to a couple $100,000 if you're at this level. Yeah. No, my experience was different. We had this brand new thing called the Facebook, and that was interesting and probably used for purposes that it shouldn't have been in terms of stream of consciousness and thought. It was thought to be a college-only network.
Collegiate thing, and then the world got a hold of it, and everybody else has to go back and delete their Facebook.
Indeed. And now you can shoot what is tantamount to movie quality video in live time on Instagram or wherever. I'm sure there's 5 more networks that I'm not aware of.
No, I know. I'm terrified of this. I have a 15-year-old and a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
They're not big shot football recruits necessarily, but I'm constantly talking to them about the phone, the ramifications of what you post, and how, because one of the things is, and I'm grateful for this, both my boys, you've said this, have a wonderful sense of humor.
They do.
They're funny.
They are.
They're funny kids.
Their accounts are funny. Sometimes I tell you, man, that's a funny post. And you're like, don't encourage them. Don't encourage them.
No. They get it. Their humor is between the lines. Like, they get it. But what I tell them and what I've told them before is that not everybody does. And they don't know you. So Mr. Tom sees it, and he knows from where it came.
Right.
He gets the joke.
There are literalists out there.
Certainly. I've had to learn that as a talk show host, that there are literalists out there, yes, who believe that whatever tongue-in-cheek remark you make is in fact what you believe. And even sarcasm eludes a very large percentage of our population, unfortunately. But it's one thing for me. I'm 51, and I've been old enough for a while to be able to navigate that, right?
Whereas all you want to do is post a Richard Simmons video. That's all you want to do.
Right now, it's just funny. But a 15-year-old or a 12-year-old or a 9-year-old, man, forget about it. There it is. There it is. It's a lot. It's a lot. That was a weird story yesterday. $13 million. I thought that can't be. It can't be. And if it is, they deserve all of the negative backlash they get. I hope it all falls to pieces. What are you doing?
They are falling to pieces. They can't stop the bad news. We were talking about, I think I said 30 pieces of news, maybe 27 were good for us. They're the opposite, which is crazy because it looked like he had the foundations of something good going there on the field. But that's why head coaching is about a whole lot more than just an on-the-field product. See Dan Mullen, the previous head coach in Florida.
If you don't bother to defend, you'll get boat raced, and that's exactly what happened to Florida State basketball last night. I'll touch on it, but I won't spend a lot of time on it. I will spend a lot of time on some gambling items on a Redemption Thursday. Look at this research. We got bets to make, people. We got NFL playoff games, damn it. Those are played by grown-ups who are paid, and we can yell at them. Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Let me tell you what T-Spark stands for. It stands for strength, commitment, teamwork, and heart. We don't ever quit until we've got nothing left to give. Our team is unstoppable. Want a guaranteed win? Call T-Spark Enterprises for your next roofing or construction project. We conquer all peaks. TSparkConstruction.com. License number CCC 1331204.
Now go call Seminole Glass. They'll get on the road and get it done fast.
Your local family-owned glass company, serving the Big Bend for over 15 years. At Seminole Auto Glass, we care about your safety. Insurance will send you wherever it benefits them, not the quality of service. There's a difference in auto glass companies. Trust your local auto glass experts. Seminole Auto Glass.
They handle any kind of broken glass, and you know who they are.
Better call Seminole.
Hey, no fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future.
Hi, this is Jamie McClenny from Trek Financial in Tallahassee. Managing downside risk in your portfolio is one of the biggest challenges that you'll face in retirement. Trillions of dollars in stimulus from the Federal Reserve and D.C. politicians combined with zero interest rates, have propped up financial markets since the financial crisis ended in 2009. The Fed recently ended quantitative easing and has started to raise interest rates at a time when the global economy was already slowing. Have you considered what another 50% correction in the stock market would do to your retirement plan? If you're concerned about where this all might be headed and would like to find out about the potential benefits of an active risk management strategy for your portfolio, give me a call at 850-900-5200 and schedule a time for a review of your portfolio from an active risk management perspective.
Make Jamie your first call for a second opinion. Investment advisory services are offered through Trek Financial, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
That bill's piling up? Temporary prescriptions not cutting it? When your pet has an unscratchable itch, dull coat, or fur loss, you do everything you can to help. But the truth is, these issues start with their food. Sometimes pets just need a little something to balance out their bowl. Dinovite nutritional supplements add essential nutrients to mealtime to support a healthy digestive tract, skin and coat, and immune system. Because when your pet is their healthiest self, they're also their happiest self.
We were at a loss until we tried Dinovite. After just a few weeks, Maggie stopped all the itching and shedding. She had a healthy, shiny coat. Just a huge relief for all of us, but especially Maggie.
Get a free probiotics booster with your purchase of Dinovite for dogs by using code DOG at dinovite.com.
Happier, healthier with every bite. Over 1 million pets helped with Dinovite.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Welcome back to the Jeff Cameron Show, sponsored by Legendary Home Loans, a mortgage experience designed around speed, simplicity, and customer service. Before you buy your next home, contact our friend Shannon Young with Legendary Home Loans. Visit FSUHomeLoans.com. FSUHomeLoans.com.
Rodemaker is locked in, locked up. There we go. What do you think we gave Tate Rodemaker to sign with the Battles in? $50?
I think if we were Miami, $2.75 million.
Ruiz is like, Tate, come on down south. I'll give you $9 million over 4. And if that were true, Tate, you should ride. Oh, my goodness gracious. So I'm learning more as we go along about some of the aspects of NIL, some of the ways that these contracts are written. And it's my understanding that that whole situation at Florida is more complicated because he's from California and there's probably payments and contracts that have been signed and all this situation. And now there's a falling out and the money's not there and this allegedly, and the kid wants out and you've got a mess on your hands. Well done, Preston. $200 cash. Did you laugh as hard as I did when he said it the first time in the show?
Yeah. Yeah, the first time, so
it's so good.
Ashley Schaefer's hilarious the first time, but Danny McBride's character, Kenny Powers, I didn't understand the first time I watched it. I was like, this guy sucks.
Oh, he's the best, though.
And then upon a second and a third watch, I go, oh, I'm sorry. That's me. That's on me.
Yeah.
I was in college when it came out.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was instantly smitten. I was like, oh, this is the worst in all of us. This is so good. This is so perfect. This is the over-the-top Roger Clemens. This is absolutely what you should do.
I just love that Will Ferrell's character is somewhere between Ric Flair and like a Muppet, though, with the facial expressions, like
the sunglasses make it, though. I know everybody says the wig, but the sunglasses are so perfect with the wig. Instead of woo, just woo.
And then when he's going on a diatribe, he's woo.
Yeah. Woo. Yeah. I'm gonna give you $200 cash.
Cash.
Also, the whole slapping and that's not what you do. Every bit of that is so good. Oh man, I do want to know more about that story, but there are other stories, so we should get to them. By the way, so you saw, just as an aside, this does affect college football to an extent, and it did get me to laughing because I thought, well, here's your chance, Jim. Maybe. The Bears have hired Kevin Warren and made him president and CEO of the Chicago Bears. Hired him away from the Big Ten. That's it. He's gone. That was the job that Jim Phillips wanted and got beat out. Jim hasn't exactly hit the ground running with the ACC.
This conference has so many things going for it. And if I had to stake a claim on it, I'd say Notre Dame, if they were going to join anywhere, they would call our league office.
It reminded me of what absurd, and it's not a word, feebleism we bore witness to at the ACC meetings. I was saddened for his people. People that love him, care about him, are related to him because they had to see their guy shrink like that in the biggest moment to date. Like their father, their brother, their uncle, their son stood up there and was that in the face of adversity. Now, I know you could say he's an accomplished man, a successful man, an educated man. He has plenty of credentials to fall back on. His bona fides are in place, Jeff. Who are you, sports talk show host in Tallahassee, to take a shot at a man with those advanced degrees and successes behind him? I'm one of many that stood there in awe at the way he shrunk in the moment of truth. It was jarring.
Wait a minute. That's it? That's all you got?
I kept thinking there's no way. Based on those credentials, I thought there's no way that's what this man is rolling out there with. We're relying on everybody else's kindness. You're going to tell me that for the benefit of college football, which has been crumpled up and thrown in the trash several times over in the last decade, you're going to rely on others' benevolence? That others who care about the game in the same way that you do understand that all neighborhoods need to flourish for the game to excel and propel moving forward in a way that is beneficial to the programs seeking to win national championships, compete at the highest levels. Really, we're just going to, they're good. Yeah, because the SEC has shown you around every turn that they have you in mind, Jim, that the ACC's good fortune is what they're thinking about, and that college football as a whole is what they're concerned with.
Well, Jeff, as you know, it's like developing a city or sometimes a collection of developments, residential developments. And our friends at ESPN have been wonderful colleagues and working partners. Jimmy P.
That was
Burke Mangus. These are our friends. And they're our partners too, Jeff. So they would be in their best interest to work with the ACC.
Well, when I read that this morning, I thought Jim has got to be on the horn with his agent. Hey, get me out of here. Please tell me you saw this coming and you were on the horn months ago. Is this lined up? Get me out of this nightmare. I know I didn't do anything to help my cause, but I've lost them already.
Well, that call would have happened a couple weeks ago when, the Bears' job was up for the running for Commissioner Warren. that would have been Jim calling, hey, is this going to happen?
Yeah, oh my God. The day that he read that in the dailies, what? There's an opening with the Bears. Well, you do realize that Kevin's background is that of an NFL guy forever. And he would love to work for, please, God.
And given where Commissioner Phillips went to school, his accent,
yes,
he probably knows somebody in the Bears organization.
He was on the horn that morning, 5 a.m.
Mr. Hallis, is this going to happen?
Oh, my God. Well, at this point, for as many times as we were told that Jim Phillips was a can't-miss hire and was going to help steward the ACC to the future, and
his resume looked good.
Yeah, well,
whoops.
I just didn't know that he didn't understand the lay of the land.
Oh, I understand it perfectly.
No, you don't. Clearly, you don't. The lay of the land is opposite of what you want it to be. You're in fantasy land. You're in a bygone time, bygone era. You are smack dab in the middle of the Ivy League in 1973. You're nowhere near the current landscape of college football. This is what dreams may come. That's what you are. You're sitting around fantasizing of yellow brick roads. You've lost your mind.
Jeff, have you lived in a development with multiple neighborhoods? You know, sometimes there are neighborhoods that are closer to the gate, and then there are some neighborhoods that are tucked
all
away.
Neighborhoods have to thrive. Is that what you're going to tell me, Jim? Here we go. I get it. Yes.
But for the Christmas parade, we go through all the neighborhoods. It wouldn't be a Christmas parade if it was only in one of the neighborhoods.
I've got more numbers than we possibly could use.
You got to get the volunteer fire truck to go through all the neighborhoods.
I also like your bets. Thanks for sending me your bets this morning.
Did you like the play?
Yeah, I did like the play.
Good value.
Yeah, I thought you did a good job with that. I'm going to sit down and make a lot of plays. You know, the golf starts today again. Buddy, so pumped up, man. I'm so happy the PGA Tour season's back. Don't worry. I'm not going to do that to you.
Is the Sony Open this weekend?
Yeah, they stay in Hawaii, and
JT Poston gonna do some things.
Tom Kim will probably do some things. Russell Henley's got a good chance to do some things.
Hostler action.
No, it's not a bad field, buddy. Hold on a second now.
Adam Scott's out there,
besmirching the field. Jordan
going to be wearing
Spieth's out there. So JM's out there. There's plenty of people.
The khaki hat, the khaki top.
Adam
khaki
will
pants.
look the part. He doesn't play the part much these days, but he looks the part. The Buccaneers went 4-12-1 against the spread this season. Only one other team since 1990 has made the playoffs with fewer than 5 against the spread wins. Can you name them?
Was it the Saints team that went 7-9?
It was the 1999 Vikings who were 3-10-3. It's 23%. They lost in the divisional round. Bucs are at 25%.
That was the Seahawks team that went 7-9 that beat the Saints. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Another failure for Sean Payton. Forgive me.
This will be Tom Brady's second playoff game as a home underdog. Can you name the other one?
The Super Bowl?
That is correct.
Because that was the technically home game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were +3 in Tampa Bay for the Super Bowl against the Chiefs. And as we all recall, Vegas got it wrong and then some, 31-9. Overwhelming ass beating of the Chiefs for your Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I would posit that's the easiest Bucs game I've ever bet on in my life.
It's high on the list.
You could check the tape. We were all over that one.
We were, and so was Mario. Yeah, me and Mario were like exchanging texts like,
they don't have either of their tackles.
Guys, we're going to beat the Chiefs' ass. Does anybody realize how bad we're going to beat the Chiefs? Like, you could tell. That was waiting to happen. This stat blows me away, though. Night games. Tom Brady is 9-9 straight up, but 2-16 against the spread in his last 18 night games. 2-16. Sweet Jesus, okay. Tom.
With the Bucs, that makes total sense. You think about the debacles against the Rams, that Monday night game a couple years ago, his first season, they got destroyed. The Saints, anytime they play them in prime time, it does not go well for the Bucs.
Well, we had kind of been pseudo prime time on that weekend of the road playoff matchup against the Saints. It was indeed at night in the Dome.
That might be one of the
when
two.
We vanquished them in front of their home fans in Drew Brees' final game ever.
Yes.
In which he was treated like a child.
He was.
Yes.
He was.
Yeah.
but please, let's canonize his head coach
Anyhow.
for being the greatest thing in offensive football history. Do you realize that his record in terms of wins and losses in the regular season and the postseason is essentially the same as Mike McCarthy's? Essentially the same.
But he got a Super Bowl victory.
So does Mike McCarthy.
Yeah.
He does. They have the same amount of Sean Payton and Mike McCarthy have the same amount of Super Bowl victories. And let me ask you this.
We know.
If the Saints defense wasn't world-class the last 3 or 4 years of Sean Payton's tenure in New Orleans, what are we really talking about?
Okay, but prior to that, it was the offense that carried the day for many years.
It did.
And he found a way with a child's arm to win a lot of games.
That arm only reverted to child's
last 5
Pennington
years.
status.
I started championing that on the air after a windy day in Tampa many moons ago, and I went, it's over. I was yelling at the top of the mountain, it's over.
Is that Sean Payton or Cam Jordan and the crew? I don't know. When you only have to score 20 to 24 points, the math changes a little bit.
This is kind of cool, and we'll go to break on this note just as we get set to enter the playoffs. 2022, kind of this year, is the year of the long shot. There have been 2 seasons. 2022 and 2017 are the only 2 seasons since 1977-78. You were not even a thought. I was 6. Where 3 teams at 100-1 odds or longer to win the Super Bowl at the start of the season all made the playoffs. Pretty cool. It's also why the NFL is so wildly popular. I can give other examples, but those 3 teams, top of your head, playing a little trivia out here today.
So once again, this is the longest odds.
100-1 odds or longer to win the Super Bowl at the start of the season. 3 teams were that or worse and made the playoffs this year.
So
the last time it happened was in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
And before that, 1977-78.
So the Jags.
That's correct.
The Giants?
No.
Really?
Oh, sorry. Didn't see it. It is correct. That is correct.
Okay. And I'm missing an obvious one here.
Seattle.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Geno Smith.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Seattle, the Giants, and Jacksonville. Pretty cool. Since 2002, quarterbacks making their first NFL playoff start have gone 18-36 straight up, 17-36-1 against the spread, including 0-3 straight up and against the spread last season, not including Derek Carr versus Joe Burrow. Both made their first start versus each other. So there you go.
That was a weird game, too.
Kind of fascinating. I'm still blown away that Brady is 2-16 in his last 18 starts against the spread at night. That's nuts.
It feels right, but I've got a number in a second. I hope I can get it in this segment. I got to find it. Regarding Mahomes and Brady numbers.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so here's one set of numbers. 2,509 completions, 27,500 yards, 193 touchdowns, 10 playoff wins, and 2 Super Bowl rings. Versus 1,985 completions, 24,000 yards, 192 touchdowns, almost the same, 8 playoff wins, and 1 Super Bowl ring. The first set of numbers is Tom Brady since he turned 40 years old. The second set of numbers is Patrick Mahomes' entire career to date.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
Brady's numbers since he turned 40 are basically equivalent to Mahomes' career numbers to date.
He set the record last year. Was it last year or the year before?
I think it might have been last year.
People forget that he led the league in passing.
40.
I know. Yeah, that's why it's staggering to see the cliff the Bucs offense fell off this year. It's the Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Your local news now.
The Leon County Sheriff's Office confirms a large fight at Godby High School led to a lockdown Wednesday afternoon. No injuries were reported, no weapons were involved, and no arrests have been made, according to LCSO. Officials said arrests could be made depending on the outcome of the investigation. Any students who may have videos of the fight are being encouraged by law enforcement to share them with their school resource officer to help with the investigation. The Florida Highway Patrol is investigating a vehicle crash Wednesday afternoon that left a child dead. The incident happened a little before 2 p.m. on a residential road in Apalachicola, according to the FHP. According to the press release, a 42-year-old woman driving a pickup truck accidentally backed up over the infant as she was pulling out of the driveway. FHP confirmed that the child involved is 15 months old and was pronounced dead on the scene. This is Rachel Lene with your Real Talk 93.3 local news update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at McLemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Chance for scattered storms this afternoon. Otherwise, sunshine mixed with clouds at times. Daytime highs approaching 75. Southerly winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. Scattered thunderstorms again tonight. Lows level off around 48. Cloudy skies expected. High temperatures reach up to 56. Tomorrow, partly cloudy. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 75.
We understand how important it is to have transportation you can rely on. So no matter what the road ahead brings, we'll be there, offering you and your family the support that's made Farm Bureau Insurance a trusted name for over 70 years. You deserve more. You deserve a promise.
I'm Andy Cohen with Florida Farm Bureau Insurance. Please call me at 850-671-FARM.
Hey, what's happening, Jeff?
It is always good to see you, Eddie. Had a long day, my man. I was thinking about it. Gordo's was the place to ease the pain, you know? You're frustrated with your job, you're aggravated, life's beating you down. Maybe your wife's speaking. You got to get out the door.
You know what? Here at Gordo's, man, we welcome everybody. Disgruntled wives, disgruntled husbands, kids running away from home. We'll even give that kid a job. Send them our way.
Go make some money and eat delicious food at Gordo's. It's perfect.
And have a damn good time doing it.
Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
Hey, Matt.
Yes, Greg?
You know all the different ways that you can listen to Real Talk 93.3?
There are several.
So we've got realtalk93.com. You can go back and listen to all of our shows in the podcast section.
That's right. You can also listen on our app as well.
Search Real Talk 93.3 and look for the red microphone and download our app. Never go anywhere without us.
And of course, you can always listen right on the radio.
Well, they are listening.
Are they?
If they're hearing this commercial, then they're listening.
That's true. I hadn't thought about that.
The Greg Tish Show, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m., only on Real Talk 93.3. The Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road and Northside in the Village Common Shopping Center. Online at orangetheoryfitness.com.
It's a good observation. I didn't think gambling on NFL games was considered to be above board in 1977, and in very few places. I would say that is correct, excluding very few places. I'd say that's correct, but that didn't mean that they didn't keep odds, but they did. Point spreads have been around a long time. Jimmy the Greek was out there doing some things back in the day. Used to go to my buddy, I won't say his name.
Luis Morales.
No. I used to go to my buddy Chris Sturgeon's house. And his dad, who's no longer with us, stepdad, no longer with us. He was one of the original gangsters. This guy was awesome. I knew I had a gambling bug in me at an early age because I was transfixed when I walked into his house on Sundays. I'd ride my bike over there, my mongoose. I'd ride down Pinellas Point Drive. I'd take that right towards 4th, and then I'd cut over, and I'll never forget. I'd get in that neighborhood, get to Chris's house, and it would be around 11 a.m. or noon. And this is obviously before everybody had a computer, before cell phones or anything like that. He had these huge cardboard setups, like it's almost like a history project, like a history fair project that your kids do or whatever, science.
Did you find the boards, by the way?
Yes.
Okay.
I got them. Yeah. All right. Jamie came through for me. So I had 2, I would walk in. He had 2 massive boards every Sunday, brand new sheets of paper. They were up. And he had probably upwards of 30 or 40 guys' bets on each of those boards. And the phone was on his footrest by the lazy boy. Only it wasn't a lazy boy. It was a really nice leather chair. He had the
on the footrest though. That's a good detail.
Yeah, he had the phone cord pulled from the kitchen all the way out to the footrest, right? So he had that long cord that nobody really ever needed unless you were taking your phone all the way like he was every week, right there. And he had it color coded, and the games were getting ready to start, and he's just picking up the phone. Okay, Ted, got it. Click. Can't do that, Steve. You're into me. Nope. Click. I'm like, oh, Steve just got turned down. Steve owes too much. Ted's bet went through. It's going to be put on the board. And he would go and Ted's bet was on the board. There it was. And then I don't know what the color coding was about. I don't know, but he had color coding, had the pencils out.
Density of the bet, or did he write the amounts? Did he write the actual amounts on the board?
It was awesome. And Chris was kind of embarrassed, and he would try to rush me in to, like, Chris had bought a guitar, and he was learning how to play it. And for us, it was so cool because we'd go back in his room and listen to REM records or the Replacements or whatever and try to play along. But I would want to sit out there with his stepdad, and be like, let me watch this. This is awesome. So no, we should. He doesn't want us out here. We should go.
Well, that was probably
that. Yeah, but I was like, I'm not. I wanted to be like, I'm not a narc. This is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. Well, now you understand exactly how transfixed Clark is when. Yeah, he's like, hey, you got any action on this game, Dad?
I loved it, and I would sit there, and then every now and then I would get more bold. I'd walk back out there, I'm like, is it going all right? And he wasn't a man of many words. He'd be like, I need the Steelers to score here. I'd be like, all right. And he'd go back to looking at the TV.
That sounds like our friend at the North Side area. It's just a man of few words. How you doing, Brian? Okay.
All right.
Having a good day.
Yeah.
How are you?
I loved it. It was so good. Some days you'd come in there, papers strewn on the floor. His wife didn't say a word to him. He's just doing his thing. Clearly, it worked. I mean, he did all right for himself. They
lived in a good neighborhood.
They were doing all right. And that wasn't his only gig, but that was the better of the gigs.
That's got to be an interesting existence, though. Just, I don't know if you ever aspired to be a bookmaker or just somebody who was on the betting side of the ledger.
I've never aspired to be a bookmaker, no.
Okay. Well, I mean, you never know.
Well, no.
That's actually something I learned today.
I met some people back in the day, and I thought, man, that's profitable, but you're always kind of on the run. I met a guy who I originally was involved with back in the day who did up and had to move to Tampa. Couldn't find him.
Oh.
Lost track of him.
Moved to Tampa? Okay.
Don't know what happened.
There was a guy, side story. Remember the toll booths? They don't do them anymore now on the paid toll highways. It's all toll by plate.
SunPass, yeah.
It's SunPass. There was a guy there who was straight from Staten Island. Like Staten
There was a ton of snowbirds that came down that got those jobs, yeah.
Yeah. The pinky ring, the whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean, the shirt is buttoned down too
Walking
far.
stereotype,
Hey, how
sure.
you doing? How you doing? All right, 125. You give him the quarters. And his name was way too Anglo. It was something like Wilfred. I mean, it was nuts.
Yeah.
I was like, man, that ain't your name. Who you running from? Wilfred? He's like, how you doing? No way.
Wilfred.
No way.
The 49ers swept the Seahawks during the regular season. They'll be the 20th team in the wild card era to face an opponent a third time after a straight up regular season sweep. Those teams are 12-7 straight up, but only 9-1 against the spread.
Oh.
Hence your, yeah. Your little wager there, buddy.
That's right. A little concerned.
San Francisco, entering the playoffs, has also won 10 consecutive games straight up, entering that contest. In the last 20 years, 15 teams have played a playoff game on a 10-plus game straight-up win streak. You know what their record is straight up? Of the teams that have won 10 consecutive games going into the playoffs, what's their record straight up?
How many of them are there? Quick math on the total.
15 teams.
15 teams.
15 teams have been on 10-game win streaks entering the playoffs in the last 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
What's their record?
12-3.
7-8.
Whoa!
They lose.
Wow.
Now you're feeling really good that you moved the number.
I moved some things.
You know what their record is against the spread?
Well, it can't be good.
2-13. The playoffs are a different animal.
Look at the clairvoyance over here from your boy.
So I mentioned again A lot of numbers involving rookie quarterbacks. We got guys out. We've got injuries. We've got problems. This weekend, we have rookie quarterbacks, and we have first-time playoff QBs.
A dude named Skyler is going to play.
Since 1990, rookie quarterbacks are 10-17 in the playoffs, straight up. They're 3-10 over the last decade. Rookie quarterbacks are 4-7-1 against the spread in wild card weekend in the last 20 years. If you have a first-time quarterback as a home favorite, that doesn't help you. You're 8-14. If you have a first-time starting quarterback in the playoffs at home against the spread, you're not any better. You're 6-16. First-time starting quarterbacks in the playoffs pretty much get it handed to them.
This is where the Trevor Lawrence argument is valid, I think, because he's already played his first playoff game, and he was bad. Last week was a playoff game for the Jags. So he should go in with fewer butterflies and issues against the Chargers on Saturday night.
I don't know, man. You have to convince yourself of that. I saw it. You saw it. He was scared. He got bailed out by his defense. That is true. But, man, this is a playoff game, and I think they should beat the Chargers because they're better coached than the Chargers. Hour number 2, forthcoming. Stay with Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Over 50 years ago, when Paul Nicholson founded Paul's Termite and Pest Control, he had one goal in mind: provide the best service possible to his neighbors so they felt like family. Your problem was his problem, so today it's our problem. Paul's service area is our home. It's where our kids go to school, where we shop, and where we get involved with community organizations. So if some out-of-town company knocks on your door and begins pressuring you to sign an agreement for termite or pest control, you can bet on a few things. Number 1, you'll never see that person again. Number 2, your technician is likely to change often. And number 3, your money will not stay in North Florida. These companies are sending your money to home offices in Atlanta, Orlando, Salt Lake City, or even Great Britain. Paul's Termite and Pest Control knows local means something to you. The health of your Tallahassee home, family, and pets is our number 1 priority. For the elimination of termites and pests and a greener lawn too, call your local company with local solutions. Paul's Termite and Pest Control.
This is Kyle, Service Manager from Barano Heating and Air. Schedule an appointment from your mobile device to learn about our Total Comfort Service Program. With guaranteed same-day service, 15% off necessary repairs, and $25 berry books to use towards air filters and other products. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Barano Heating and Air. Any day, anytime, anywhere. Online at baranoac.com.
Florida license CAC 1816-186.
Hey, this is Greg Tish. Here's something you might know about me. I don't drink coffee. I have never had a cup of coffee in my life. Well, that is until now. So why change now? Well, it's because my dear friend at Grassroots Coffee reached out to me after hearing me say that and insisted that I give his product a try. I've been making a huge mistake. The world of coffee is fascinating. I always thought coffee is coffee, you know? No, it's not. I have tried their coffee and it is fantastic. Now, I've got a fascination with learning more about the best coffee in our area. Grassroots Coffee is locally roasted, locally owned, and locally loved. You can find whole bean Grassroots Coffee on the local aisle at Publix, also in Whole Foods, but the best way to get this black gold is to order it online. They literally grind the fresh roasted beans to your preferred level, bag it, write the date on it by hand so you know the exact day your coffee was roasted. It doesn't get any more fresh than that. Order yours now. Just go to grassrootscoffee.com and choose the coffee you want and how you want it, and join me. Let's step up our coffee game together and also support a great local business.
There's fun to be had every night at the Corner Pocket. Take home prizes on Trivia Tuesdays and Beer Bingo Thursdays. And kickstart your weekend with Martini Fridays. Plus, happy hour runs every weekday and game day specials every time the Noles take the field. Watch all the best games at the Corner Pocket's Vegas wall, featuring 560 inches of flat screen TV heaven.
Oh, really?
The best food, the best drinks, and the best place to watch all the games. Tallahassee loves the Corner
Live and
Pocket.
local on Real Talk 93.3. WVFT, Greta, Tallahassee. The latest betting odds and line movements from Vegas. This is your action update. Now here are your latest lines from our guys in the desert.
Jacksonville Jaguars hosting the LA Chargers on Saturday night, AFC wildcard game. The Chargers, a 1.5 road favorite, 47.5 the total. Riley Patterson, the Jaguars kicker, held out of practice Tuesday with a sore knee, back in practice Wednesday. His over-under kicking point prop bet on the board, 6.5 points, shaded to the under, -125. The Miami Dolphins have ruled out Tua Tagovailoa to play against the Buffalo Bills on Sunday, and the number in that game has ballooned to Buffalo laying 13 with a total of 46. Skylar Thompson expected to get the start for Miami. Sign up now for your free VSiN subscription at vsin.com/subscribe. For more sports betting news and information, go to vsin.com. Mike Sennett, Real Talk 93.3.
Get back to business and start the year strong with an HP printer from Staples, like the HP LaserJet MFP M234 SDWE printer. This compact multifunction printer features blazing fast print speeds. It's the fastest two-sided printer in its class. Plus, with the HP Smart app, you can print, scan, and copy from anywhere. And Staples has the best deals on a full range of HP printers. Right now, save up to $100 on the HP LaserJet. But hurry, this offer is good this week only. Offer good in-store and online. Ends 1/14.
From Brent Musburger, and this is Take One, and away we go.
The best way to start betting smarter is to sign up for a free VSiN subscription at vsin.com/subscribe. Plus, when you sign up today, you'll automatically be entered to win a free VSiN Pro annual subscription, a $240 value. Sign up for your free VSiN subscription today at vsin.com/subscribe.
And that's a wrap.
Jeff, look at this beautiful day, man.
Yeah, it's getting a little chilly. I like it. You know, I'm a colder weather guy, but I worry about it for you because you can't wear the Speedo in the cold. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to wear a Speedo in the cold.
Jeff, it's always Speedo weather, man. We can always do this. Besides, my pool, it's heated.
Which means you're insufferable in a Speedo year-round?
Cannonball!
Still gross.
Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
There's nothing like relaxing in a hot tub after a long day. But if you don't have one, you're truly missing out. Hot tubs and spas have tremendous health benefits, besides just helping you relax. Like improving your sleep, they help with pain relief. They help to better your cardiovascular health, and so much more. And this season is the perfect season to finally buy what you've been wishing for. Pinch a Penny Pool, Patio, and Spas has the hot tubs you need for the price you want. Come shop our huge 12,000 square foot showroom and save today. There's over 50 hot tubs in stock right now, so you won't have to wait weeks on end for that delivery to finally come to town. If you're ready to relax, we're here to show you how. Pinch a Penny Pool, Patios, and Spas. Come visit our huge showroom at 2473 Greer Road with over 50 hot tubs to choose from. You'll be glad you did.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Broadcasting live from Florida's capital city, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on Real Talk 93.3. Now, stop what you're doing and listen closely. It's time for the Jeff Cameron Show in 5, 4, 3, 2.
for Florida State. Good. We could use a breather. Yesterday, you and I, right after the show, had to shoot a video. Malik McClain has entered his name in the transfer portal. We shot that video, I think, an hour after we got off the air. Admittedly, it was not stunning to learn of Malik's decision to enter the portal. And ironically, you had just gone over the numbers during the JCS in hour 2 before we got word that he was entering the transfer portal. And I remember thinking, as you read those totals, I think it was 14 receptions. 17 receptions.
But 14 was Marquiston.
Yeah. So I remember thinking at that moment, not a lot from that guy. And I wonder how many he'll get this year now that we've added weapons. I think he had the same thought. Now, we would love for a kid to bet on himself, especially if he's got talent, especially if he is a kid whose talents are growing, where you're beginning to witness growth as a player, consistency. Those kinds of things were evident in his game, even though he had a grand total of 17 receptions last year. And the variety of the catches and routes and the things that he was able to do grew as well. So it would be great to see him stick around and get the most out of what he is for Florida State. But I don't begrudge him. There's only so many touches to go around. And I don't know. I don't know that they could guarantee him that he was going to get much more in the way of receptions than he did a year ago. The guys that are ahead of him on the depth chart also got better as the year went on and figure to only get better because they are, to a man, hard workers and in some cases more talented. And you add 2 tight ends to the mix that can play. You know, it's going to be hard. It would be hard for Malik McClain to get more touches than he got this past year. And if he feels like he can be the guy somewhere and he can be the focal point, at least at receiver for an offense, maybe at a smaller school, it's hard. It's hard to tell him not to do that. So I wish him well.
He could be a 1 or a 2 somewhere, and that wouldn't if you said starting receiver, which means you got 2 positions.
Yeah,
that becomes less stunning at that point. What stinks is it seemed like he was garnering more trust from Jordan Travis as the season went on, more trust from Mike Norvell and Alex Atkins, as it seemed like he was being drawn up a play for a little bit more often. There were a lot of guys, especially in the bowl game, it was hard to siphon through. Think about those first 3-4 drives, how many different receivers were on the field. It was almost like they were trying to get everybody some reps.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But when you look at the regular season for the last few games, Malik was a big part of the offense. Even though the numbers aren't outrageous, he was out there. He was at least going to make 1 or 2 impact plays in every single game. So it stinks. I was hoping that maybe he would get through spring camp, because if I'm a receiver in this offense, if I could win a job, a good one coming out of spring camp, I'm about to go off. This offense is so balanced and so frightful for defensive coordinators. I'm going to be wide the hell open just by nature of being out there. I'm going to be wide the hell open at least once or twice every game because they got to defend other people. They got to focus on other people.
Yeah. And listen, he had to accept a downgrade in his value as they upgraded the position this past offseason. I'm sure that didn't sit well. And then when you only have 17 receptions and you don't really see a path for more, I mean, yes, he could think along the lines that you just described.
Which is, play it out in spring.
Yeah, play it out and see what happens. Right.
Yeah.
But for those of you wondering, well, how long does this madness go on? 7 more days. 7 more days. January 19th closes the window. It is a 45-day window for the NCAA's transfer portal.
From hell.
So once that portal closes, exhale, enjoy your coffee. Stick around. Don't worry about it. You're going to be all right. And then sign up for warchant.com so you'll get the next go-around of important nuggets and information regarding the team. But there will be a quiet period, and we're ready for that quiet period. We need no more horns and whistles and big news of the day. We just need hey, you know what happened today? Nothing. Not a damn thing. Nothing happened today. All right, then. I like a little bit of nothing every now and again. Can I ever have a Wednesday in which not a damn thing happens with my favorite team? I'd like that Wednesday, and soon. Well, you will after next week.
Outside of getting 1% better in the weight room. That's going to happen.
Somebody else can shoot that video. I'm not doing that show.
So they did announce one bit of news from Florida State. Gilbert Edmond was officially announced by Florida State as a member of this class, Tribe 23. So if you're just wondering and saying, all right, it's nice that we get some of these transfers. I know there were whispers over the weekend who actually makes it in. Well, when Florida State goes ahead and announces that you're here, that's it. That's all. So the defensive end from South Carolina.
South Carolina's got to be like, what did we do to you? Why? Every day, Mike Norvell, you raid our roster. You steal our players. You eat our food from the fridge, drink our wine, sleep with our women, and laugh about it as you walk out the door. I'm tired of it. That has to be the feeling in South Carolina currently.
Yes. Unfortunately, though, for them, I believe that's not the name of the university anymore. It's either North Tallahassee, FSU-N, whatever you want to call it.
They've got to be so damn. Every day. So imagine we talk about the respite that's coming in 7 days from portal news, from daily news. Every day, these folks in South Carolina wake up and go, oh, look at that. Looks like Florida State decided to steal our starting right tackle. Oh, look at that. Looks like Florida State took our starting tight end. Oh, look at that. Looks like Florida State took our starting defensive end. Look at that. Florida State called again, inquiring about some of our linebackers yesterday. Sweet Jesus. Don't pick up the phone. If you see 850, it ain't no good.
Yeah, I guess we need to add, certain coaches have recruiting territories and they have the pipelines. Remember, we broke up Miami-Dade into a couple of counties and were badasses in the early part of the last decade. Mike Norvell's recruiting footprint should say South Carolina first. It's just South Carolina.
So, like, when you look it up, you're trying to get a regional map, and it says Mike Norvell, and then there's just a tea bag hanging over the state of South Carolina. And I'm like, what is that? Oh, ask the people of South Carolina. They know.
They're well aware.
They're well aware.
Maybe they could put Mike's face on a billboard instead. The end is coming.
Yeah, and it's Mike Norvell smiling with gray hair.
He's got a burqa
on. Jeff, they listened to your disparaging remarks about the state of South Carolina. State of the roads in South Carolina for sure, and the dearth of coffee joints.
By the way, would you like some fireworks?
We got plenty of those around every turn. Just avoid the potholes on your way to pick them up. Yeah, I am kind of relentless with South Carolina. Just get it together. Get it together. Rock Hill, you're excluded.
And
you've made strides.
Hilton Head.
Well, that didn't even really count, really. Nobody thinks of Hilton Head when they think of South Carolina. They think of that like that's a separate deal. They're not of South Carolina. That's just, they got lucky there's a beach located.
They'd tell you that too over there. I'm sure they would.
So, game one for Baba wasn't a good one, but namely because they couldn't defend you. That was, damn it, man. He only played 17 minutes, and it's going to take him a while to get it figured out. He hung out way too much out on the perimeter for my liking. But they've got to figure out, and this is the problem with not playing in the first 16 games, is you haven't been able to define your role in a game in a way that is still fluid with the other, big three, if you will.
Good luck defining your role when Caleb Mills is yanked from the game within 30 seconds.
Okay, so can we do this? Because for as much as I love Leonard, and I do, and for good and obvious reasons, this policy of yanking people off the floor because they get 2 fouls in the first half, no matter when they acquire that second foul, is asinine. This was always going to be a shootout. Look at the way that game started for these two offenses, including our own. Look at what Wake has done at home. Look at the points per game. Look at the shooting percentages. Look at what they've been as an offense at home as opposed to on the road where they're a nightmare. you were going to have to score a ton of points. It looks like defense was optional for both squads in the first half of that game. So you're going to pull off the court one of your best scorers. He's not a lot of things. I don't love him, but he can score the basketball. And he was off to a start doing just that. Damn it, man. That annoys me to no end, and I thought it hurt them last night.
Yeah.
I mean,
by the time you get to halftime, Wake is on a roll now.
Well, you score on 6 of your first 7 possessions to start the game. You take it's 12-all at the first media timeout. So you already know, okay, look, man, this is going to be a high-scoring half. It's going to be a high-scoring game. And Caleb gets his second foul. I was looking at the time on that. And he sits the rest of the half. I was seeing if he went back in. I was looking at this box score, and I watched it. I just couldn't remember, did I miss it?
No, he didn't.
He didn't, did he?
No, and Wake actually went through a dry spell right after that first sequence. And you could have capitalized on that, but we couldn't score the basketball ourselves, and we kept on turning the ball over.
We traded points nonetheless for that stretch, but then they go on a 15-4 run at the end of the half there, towards the end of the half, and you're done.
The end of the half was something like 30-10 because we were up 19-12.
Well, we lost
19,
45.
yeah.
44-35 was the score of the break, right? Yeah. Well, I mean, I would tell you, and while I've got the box score up, if you shoot 47% on the road and you have a 20-14 advantage of points in the paint and a 7-2 margin in second chance points and an 8-7 edge in fast break points in the first 20 minutes of the game against them on the road, then you ought not be in the situation that you're in, but we didn't bother to defend anybody.
No, we didn't defend the perimeter. They hit everything that, I think that they were a little bit on the lucky side, but they were also wide the hell open, and they missed a ton of wide open looks too. The Appleby kid early on went off the side of the backboard, and he had 4 seconds to tee up a shot, but then also the turnovers on offense. We didn't turn the ball over this past weekend. We turned it over like crazy.
Shot almost
last night.
54% on the road.
Yeah.
You score 75 points on the road. You ought to be in the game. Now, they shot nearly 56%, and they were also 14 of 26 from 3. Everybody shoots threes.
Correct. Well, they had 10 in the first half.
Yeah. Well, you know what? The
game was lost in the first half. It's just fair to say the game was lost in the first half. Mills, you go down swinging.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Of course. I don't like that mindset. I haven't. We coughed it up 17 times, 10 steals by Wake Forest. 10 steals leads to 25-13 in fast break points and points off the turnovers. There you go. You're going to get beat. So credit to Wake, but frustrating for Florida State. Not a great debut for Baba Miller. Ends up with 4 points, 2 of 4 from the field. Missed a free throw, had 4 boards and a block shot in 17 minutes off the bench. He moved well, but he was kind of floating around out there on the perimeter. Never really got any easier shots near the basket to kind of get into the flow of the game. He was only used as a forward last night, so we'll see how they use him moving forward. Because when you have Corin, McLeod, Green, all playing center at various points, and he's a forward, I don't know. They're going to have to figure out what that flow is going to look like and who's going to be doing what, the substitution patterns and everything else. But they don't have a lot of time to figure it out, obviously, because you need to go on one hellacious run in the ACC to even put yourself in a position to dream of something rather improbable.
And you have to go outside the box to do it, which the comfort zone clearly is 2 fouls, you're sitting. Come on, man.
Virginia's 12-3, 4-2 in the ACC. They come to the TLC Double C this Saturday, 4:00. If you can't make it, the game is on ESPN2. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3, Real Talk Radio, and Warchant TV.
Give your business a facelift with a modern, consistent, creative brand overhaul from Curiosity Marketing Group. These days, it's not enough for your business just to have a standard website or a Google listing to reach your customers. Your business needs to stand out with eye-popping branding, modern web development, and strong marketing. And it takes a team to pull it all together. Words and websites matter. At Curiosity, we make the most of yours. Find out more at curiositymg.com.
I used to fight almost on a daily basis working on my business website. I'm a pretty smart guy, but I could never get it to function the way I needed it to, and I was losing customers because of it. That's when I called Curiosity Marketing. They listened, they understood, we collaborated, and in the end, they delivered beyond my highest expectations. Now, I can barely keep up with the work. They say the future belongs to the curious, and now I'm excited about the future of my business.
Find out more at curiositymg.com.
Hey, no fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future. If you're hearing this right now and you or someone you know is active military, a veteran, police officer, firefighter, nurse, or a teacher, turn up the volume and listen to this. My friend Shannon with Legendary Home Loans has a Hometown Hero loan program designed to make a difference to those who make a difference. When it's time to buy a new home, he will waive all lender fees for all Hometown Heroes. That's a $1,600 value right out of the gate. Also, if you decide to use their preferred title company for their closing, you'll be saving another $600. That's $2,200 in discounts right off the top. That's like 20 tanks of gas in your car. And today, more than ever, it's important to save as much money as you can, wherever you can. So if you or someone you know is active military, veteran, police officer, firefighter, nurse, or a school teacher and looking to buy a new home, choose Shannon Young, Legendary Home Loans, and ask about their Hometown Heroes program. Call 844-FSU-LOAN or just visit FSUHomeLoans.com. That's FSUHomeLoans.com.
Equal housing lender. NMLS number 2270146.
If you're like most Americans, you can see things are out of control. Global problems have local consequences, too many of them. And if the next news headline spins us into chaos, you'd better be ready. Grocery store supply chains are only as strong as their weakest link. Don't wait for them to break. Today's the day to secure emergency food for everyone in your family. My Patriot Supply is America's largest preparedness company. Our specially packaged and delicious food stays fresh for up to 25 years in storage. It'll be there when you need it. Go to mypatriotsupply.com and pick up several emergency food kits. There are a dozen different sizes that average over 2,000 calories per day. As we all know, calories equals energy equals survival. And as you'd expect from a true preparedness company, our food kits are in stock and ship quickly. Those who know what's coming are preparing today. Go to mypatriotsupply.com. mypatriotsupply.com.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Welcome back to the Jeff Cameron Show, sponsored by Legendary Home Loans, a mortgage experience designed around speed, simplicity, and customer service. Before you buy your next home, contact our friend Shannon Young with Legendary Home Loan.
That what the number is? 45 and a half?
It's low. Yeah.
They've got issues with their health in the middle of their offensive line as well. Dallas.
Yeah, that's why I'm looking at the under with this game. These two teams are going to, I think, struggle to score. What's the number on Dak is unbelievable. I think he has thrown an interception in 10 straight games. 9 of his last 10 games, and he's thrown an interception in 7 straight. He's a mess.
Yeah.
50 interceptions. He's played far fewer games than most of the league.
There were some stats too, and I forget the center's name, but I saw it on our old friends at Joe Buck Fan, their website today, and it was documenting how when they lost the anchor of their offensive line in the middle, their productivity has gone into the dumpster. Just been awful. And the Bucks have only eclipsed 30 points 2 or 3 times this whole season. Only eclipsed 20 points. I think less than half their games this
they
year.
can't score a lick.
No. So the race, you're correct. If this is going to play the way it should, and the Bucks have more injuries to the offensive line with some chances available, this is a race. 24 is probably generous. It might be a race to 21.
I took the under on the 45.5. Prescott tied for the lead in interceptions. League lead in interceptions. He's the first player in NFL history to lead or share the lead in interceptions despite missing 5+ games in a season. That is staggering. And I mentioned again, he's thrown an interception 7 straight games and 9 of the last 10. You mentioned Mike McCarthy. He's 11-7-1 against the spread in the playoffs as a head coach over 20 years, making him the 3rd most profitable coach against the spread in the playoffs. The other 2, one cares very deeply.
Oh, old Harbaugh.
John Harbaugh is 12-7. The other was the taskmaster who's no longer in the game.
Gruden?
Tom Coughlin was 9-2 against the spread.
Great use of taskmaster. That makes total sense. Yeah, when they made it, they were a wild card team that were probably dogs all the way through their 2 Super Bowls.
Dude, he's 9-2 against the spread. He wasn't having it. McCarthy is 6-2 as an underdog. 5-5 as a favorite. Doesn't like to be the favorite. They are the favorite against Tampa Bay on the road.
Is it still hovering around
Monday night?
3? I saw 2.5 and 3.
Yeah, it's kind of a fascinating thing. Obviously, everybody knows the stat that Brady has never lost to Dallas. Both the Chargers and the Cowboys lost to their upcoming playoff opponents by double digits this season. The Jags smoked the Chargers in Los Angeles. And that I remember when that happened earlier this year, and I thought, well, they're alive. There is a pulse in Jacksonville. They're also well coached. Jacksonville is well coached.
They are.
Yeah.
They don't have a whole ton of not even usually there are 2 ways that household names develop. 1, you're a superstar. 2, the world finds out about you because you're a plucky underdog. Like, oh, okay. And you catch somebody on the way up. When Jacksonville arrives, if they ever do, I don't know that more than Trevor Lawrence is going to be a household name on that team. They don't have a ton of superstars.
No.
The one that made the AFC Championship did with Jalen.
Oh, well, that team was loaded. It's just they didn't have a quarterback.
Yeah.
So the other note here that is, I think for those of you who are my age, you remember this game very well. It was, in terms of anticipation, it was an all-timer. And that is that the Cowboys have not won, just so you know, a road playoff game since 1993. That game was a great one. It was against the 49ers in San Francisco, 2 teams that were loaded. And it was Troy Aikman taking out Steve Young, if you do the quarterback versus quarterback thing. But it was an all-time game.
Wow, 30 years.
William Floyd played in that game. And I remember telling all of my friends, that's my buddy, as we were watching it.
30 years.
Yeah, it's been a long time. They've lost 8 straight road playoff games, has Dallas. Hard to win on the road in the playoffs. I mean, that's you're not going to have typically a real good record.
There was the Des Carter game, too. They got screwed in there somewhere.
They sure did. And the anniversary of that was yesterday, I believe.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
I
think it was, yeah. Yeah, there was that weird time when the NFL was transitioning their catch rules, and we saw all kinds of bizarre stuff. Remember the Indianapolis game? There's
vaguely
Troy Polamalu picked up a ball that was said to be I don't remember if it was said to be a catch.
Catch fumble?
It was something. Yeah, it was like a catch fumble, but the rule wasn't quite clear anymore. And I remember at some point, or maybe that was the impetus for why they changed the rule. And
Was
it
that the
ended
year
up being
that Pittsburgh won it all?
Well, I just remember saying, like, at some point they're going to make you get up and dance. Like, you're going to have to do entire things to prove that it's a catch that are above and beyond reason.
I just remember that was one of the perfect playoff runs in history. I believe it was all in sequence with the Super Bowl, but I know for a fact that before Dallas went to Green Bay, Dallas was the beneficiary of maybe like 4 different pass interference calls that could have gone either way against Detroit in their own building. And they all went Dallas's way. And it looked like a pretty obvious Goodell inside job. But then after Green Bay advanced, after Dez caught it, even though they ruled it was incomplete, that was the Russell Wilson comeback where Jesus was on his side.
Oh, according to Russell, yeah.
And he was weeping. And that was the Super Bowl with, I believe, the Marshawn Lynch, Malcolm Butler at the very end. So that was just what a domino effect of you shouldn't have won it, and now you pay the price the next game you play.
Tom Brady all-time in the playoffs. You've heard the number? You know what it is? I mean, obviously this is a weighty number given how many years he's played and how frequently they were in the playoffs, but it's rather remarkable.
Is this win-loss record?
Mm-hmm. Just straight up win-loss record all-time postseason. Tom Brady.
46-12.
Close, 35-12.
Okay.
35-12. Against the spread, he's 5 games above 500 against the spread. So,
a lot of bye weeks. How could I forget? Tom Brady was on a bye for about 15 years.
Yeah. So, again, it's pretty crazy. By the way, Tom Brady all-time quarterback in the playoffs while manning an underdog is 7-3 against the spread.
A lot of that was early in his career.
He's 20-8 straight up in games played on Monday night. He's had incredible success.
Something's got to give because he's 2-14 in his last 16 in prime time, or 2-16 in his last 18.
I do. I don't know. I do remember, what is the game? It was the New England game, the day game on the road against Baltimore, where they got boat raced.
Mm-hmm. At home.
Yeah. Oh, that was at home? Yeah. They got blown out in that game.
Yeah. Ray Rice went for 80 yards on like the first play. I remember that.
Yeah, because all I could remember was that I thought it was odd. It felt weird that it was on in the middle of the afternoon, and it was also weird that they were losing by like 4 touchdowns at some point. And I was thinking, what in the hell has happened here? This is nuts.
33-14 was the final. That was 2010, January of 2010.
What was the final?
33-14.
Yeah, it was an ass beating. Tom Brady has more than double the playoff wins, 35, of all the other starting quarterbacks in the playoffs combined. I won't bore you with all these, but they are absurd. As a home dog in his career is 10-2 against the spread. Straight up, he's 8-4. Tom Brady has 35 playoff wins since 2000. The Dallas Cowboys have 3.
That's good.
I mean, that's nuts.
Yeah, here you go. Ray Rice, 83-yard touchdown right out the gate. Remember that.
Can you name the 4 teams that Tom Brady is undefeated against in his career?
Well, one's Dallas.
Yes, 7-0. Undefeated against 4 teams in his career. One of them he will remain undefeated against forevermore, no matter what.
The Buccaneers?
That is correct.
Well, you never know. He could play for the Dolphins next year or something.
Yeah, he's 1-0 against the.
He's
4-0 against.
I was going to say that was it. The Monday game?
No, he's 4-0 against Tampa Bay. Sorry.
Okay. It's got to be.
So
NFC
you got to name
teams,
the. You got to name
right?
the other 2.
It's got to be NFC teams. Atlanta?
No.
Okay. Detroit?
Minnesota, the Vikings. He is 6-0 against the Vikings.
Okay.
Owns their ass. And he is 1-0 against New England.
Oh, duh.
That's
tricky.
That's a tricky.
Yeah. Good job.
Yeah, that's fun. Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Your local news now.
According to the Tallahassee Police Department on Wednesday, 22-year-old Adeus Francis was arrested in relation to a robbery and pursuit in Leon County. The suspect walked into Home Depot on the 3200 block of Capitol Circle Northeast and concealed merchandise before attempting to leave the hardware store without paying. The suspect was stopped by the store's security at the door. The suspect reached into a bag, threatening to shoot a victim before leaving the store in a vehicle. Law enforcement was able to obtain information on the vehicle, which led to a pursuit. The chase led officers to Cascade Heights Park on Gain Street. The suspect then exited the vehicle and fled on foot. He was detained on the 600 block of Suwannee in Gain Street near the Department of Transportation Credit Union. An 11th grade student was arrested at Leon High School yesterday after a gun was found on campus. Leon County Schools confirmed that the student was suspended. At least 4 incidents involving weapons have occurred at Leon County High Schools since the beginning of the school year. This is Rachel Lene with your Real Talk 93.3 local news update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Chance for scattered storms this afternoon. Otherwise, sunshine mixed with clouds at times. Daytime highs approaching 75, southerly winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. Scattered thunderstorms again tonight. Lows level off around 48. Cloudy skies expected. High temperatures reach up to 56. Tomorrow, partly cloudy. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 74.
Leaky faucet, busted pipes, clogged toilet? M&L Plumbing is here for you. For all commercial, construction, and residential plumbing issues, call M&L Plumbing at 575-9393 or visit online at mnlplumbing.com. Choose Hearth and Patio for custom fireplaces, maintenance, outdoor grills, kitchens, fire pits, lighting, and so much more. Check out all of Hearth and Patio's options online at hearthpatiotallahassee.com. Hearth and Patio, they keep the home fires burning.
Hey, what's happening, Jeff?
It is always good to see you, Eddie. Had a long day, my man. I was thinking about it. Gordo's was the place to ease the pain, you know? You're frustrated with your job. You're aggravated. Life's beating you down. Maybe your wife's speaking. You got to get out the door.
You know what? Here at Gordo's, man, we welcome everybody. Disgruntled wives, disgruntled husbands, kids running away from home. We'll even give that kid a job. Send them our way.
Go make some money and eat delicious food at Gordo's. It's perfect.
And have a damn good time doing it.
Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
Hey, Greg Tish here along with
Matty Rowe.
And you can listen to us Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Real Talk 93.3. Matt, we give away a couple things each week.
Just a few.
We've got the Florida Farm Bureau Insurance Wheel of Food. We have Give Me a Second, where we play a second of a song and you guess that song. And we also play FLA or Nay. We have a lot of fun Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. on
The Greg Tish Show.
Think that's enough?
We could talk about our feelings.
There's a lot.
The Greg Tish Show, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m., only on Real Talk 93.3.
The Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road and Northside in the Village.
Is the potential Chiefs-Bills AFC title game will be played in Atlanta. Mercedes-Benz Stadium will be the neutral site for a Chiefs-Bills AFC championship game. That was announced today. That resolution was approved last week to mitigate the competitive inequities created by, obviously, the cancellation of the Week 17 game between Buffalo and Cincinnati, which included the AFC Championship game at a neutral site if the participating teams played an unequal number of games and both have been the number one seed, could have been the number one seed and hosted the game had all AFC clubs played a full 17 regular season games. You and I talked about this off the air. I was like, I don't know when people will feel comfortable talking about this, but we do know the business of football is going to continue in the wake of Damar Hamlin, and the playoffs are going to be played, and those seedings, without being callous, they're going to have to favor somebody based on record, and you're going to have an unequal number of games played. So how are you going to do this? How are you going to meet this out? And I did wonder that, and I don't think it was, callous to start to have the conversation. Everybody knows that a human being's life is more important than football, but we also know that in the real world, in any walk of life, unfortunately, accidents happen, people die, things occur, but business goes on. Somebody else is named interim CEO or whatever it might be of the business, and you move forward. But you do so respectfully and in the best you can. And we knew the NFL would too. So I did wonder what they were going to do with that. The game was canceled. We know why. All other potential AFC Championship game matchups would take place at the home stadium of the higher seed. So nothing really changes too much there.
Yeah, there was a plan that was floated out there in which you'd have the NFC wildcard round this weekend in addition to Bengals and Bills.
Mm-hmm.
And then the AFC playoffs, they wouldn't get the bye before the Super Bowl, but they would be able to make up all the games and then seed everything out. They decided to do this instead. I don't know. I mean, if you get that particular matchup, would you drive up to Atlanta?
I'd love to see that game.
Okay.
Let's go.
All right.
They considered Las Vegas and they considered New Orleans as well for hosting the AFC title game at a neutral site. The league chose Atlanta because it was equidistant from Buffalo and Kansas City. So there were no, first there were a lot of, if you really think about this, it makes a ton of sense. It's equidistant between the two cities, but weather is not an issue either. I mean, you're going to play in the Mercedes-Dome, so you have a neutral site game, a truly neutral site game.
Right, and both cities could have been crappy weather, so it's not like it's one, Buffalo's benefiting because they're playing Miami or something.
No,
Yeah.
So equidistant, no weather concerns, and the venue's availability. So, these other places have to be available, and a lot of times when seasons end, concerts start and everything else at these venues. So that venue was open for business. It's a brand new stadium. It's equidistant. It was a slam dunk.
It's also an airport that everybody can get to.
Well, hell yes. I'm telling you, buddy, I went on another rant yesterday. You would have been pleased.
Oh, did you?
Well, in the car with my wife.
I was going to say, we were on the air.
No, she stared off in the distance.
Yeah, she's like, here he goes again.
Well, if you will, let me explain the impetus for this. If you drive almost anywhere in this city right now, you see development.
It's time for Tub Talk, brought to you by Pinch-A-Penny Pools and Spas. Buy yourself the hot tub you've always wanted at the price you've always wanted from Pinch-A-Penny on Greer Street. Now, it's live to the tub.
If you drive anywhere in our fair city currently, you'll notice a ton of development. Now, going down Thomasville Road, that's so that they can make another 50 churches. And then if you look elsewhere, if you go down Centerville Road, that's a development where there's going to be a community. If you go out by where
house,
you are, those are all communities, right?
Buck Lake is about to get loaded up.
Right. All right.
Give us the restaurants to go with it. Let's go.
It will follow,
today.
Sir. It will follow. It will follow. Okay. So the point is, everywhere you go, development. So I asked her, this is how the conversation began.
Oh, you're moving to Dublin.
No, I'm not. You mean Ireland?
Georgia.
Not Georgia.
No, you're saying this is getting too much. This is turning into the new metropolis.
No, never mind. I'm not going to get myself in hot water about the issue with the 7,000 churches on Thomasville Road.
No, I'm talking about the development of just, there's too much concrete now. It's like Tampa St. Pete. Once upon a time, there was greenery.
The beaches,
there was greenery down
there. No. I'm gonna go back to this. Don't get me sidetracked now.
All right.
So, if they're developing all of these new neighborhoods, for lack of a better term, right? Like new homes, new apartments, right? It would suggest that Tallahassee is growing, that the population is growing. Now, I checked these numbers. I don't really see the massive growth that is commensurate to the amount of neighborhoods being built. But I'll delve deeper at a later date because clearly I'm wrong about this.
Well, it could be migration trends around the country. We're preparing.
Okay, I suppose. But I continue to notice this, and I said, well, that's interesting. We're just going to continue to add people to our fair city here. And how is it they're going to get in and out of town? It certainly won't be by flying from this piece of crap airport of ours that is an embarrassment to the state, the capital, and the fine citizens of Tallahassee. Can't get in and out of here. It's insane. And so she knew that was coming, and I'm doing this less to go on another rant, but just because I thought you would appreciate more than anybody that it started here. It started with this. We're driving, her and I, we're driving. We go past the development. I'm like, look at that. They just tore down all the trees over there too. And then she's like, yeah. No, it looks like they're building more houses. Kept going.
Remember when Magnolia was all trees?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
do you think, because you know me.
Thank God there's a Blaze Pizza there, though.
You know me better than most. So I'm curious, when in that sentence of me turning, noticing the subdivision being built, looking back to the road and going, building another community I see, would you go, here comes a rant about the airport? You're usually out in front. Like, you're probably thinking 3, 2.
Yeah, what I would do is set the odds on airport versus traffic, because now we're going to have more traffic concerns because there are too many people here.
Yeah, but I don't get all that concerned about traffic. I've gone to my Zen place with traffic. The airport.
Not when you're in it.
The airport. The airport is the problem. It's just, I just don't understand it.
You need a tub. That's what you need.
Pitch Penny. They got hundreds of them. Go on in there, take a look, get you the one that you want, and they'll deliver it, of course. Get it all set up. You're all good to go.
Comes with water.
But not a new airport. We should all buy tubs if that'll aid the process of finding affordable flights in and out of the capital city of the state of Florida.
Okay. All right. So there's another business that's anchored right here in our fair capital city, and that's our friends at ISF. So if you were solving for the future,
there we go. There we go.
Nope. If you were solving for the future, I was going to suggest an idea, maybe drafting a few teams to win the Super Bowl, and then we have a list,
Instead, I went on a rant about the damn ridiculousness of this airport.
If you could draft, maybe we'll do 2 apiece. You could draft a city, an airport to add to Tallahassee's destination list. Reliably, they've got flights every day to and fro.
Oh, yeah, I'm not going to ask for much. I understand we're not Tampa. We're not Atlanta. We're not Miami. We're not Chicago. We're not Philly. Part of why we live here is because we're not those places. There's a give and a take with all this. I get that, right? Okay. But if you're the capital city of the state, and we are, you ought to be able to traverse freely without, throughout the state to the important cities of the state, the heavily populated areas, such as Jacksonville, Orlando, Tampa, Miami. Get me in and out of there for next to nothing. Let's go, baby. Let's go. We used to have those flights. So get me to Atlanta for next to nothing. Get me to D.C. next to nothing. They do have the D.C. flight.
They've got Atlanta, D.C., Dallas, Miami. Those are the main ones. Charlotte as well, I believe.
Nowhere else.
Tampa should be
screwed. You're better off.
St. Pete, Clear. They got 2 airports down there.
I know. You're better off going. Well, basically, they encourage you to leave town to get a flight. They don't want your money.
Yep. Go to PCB.
Destin. Destin, Fort. Well, all those places have a better airport. Every one of us have to go to these other places to take a flight, unless you're just willing to wear it. Sometimes you are, just because you're like, all right, well, I don't feel like driving 2 hours. I'll pay the extra $300.
Or the corporate budget says, all right, you can take a flight.
Right.
That's mostly what it is.
That has been the bane of this city's existence for a very, very long time.
So what would you add? Tampa? Orlando?
Yeah, short little puddle jump, 45-minute flight, 40-minute flight to Tampa. Let's go. People, but I'm not saying that selfishly. Yes, it would benefit me. I mean, I've got family in that area. Of course, we both do. It would be great. But that is a hugely Pinellas County, Hillsborough County. These are hugely populated areas where people do need to get to and from the capital. Then you have Jacksonville, Orlando, Miami, any of these places. You ought to be able to traverse rather quickly. People do business. This is... And it doesn't seem to matter. It won't matter. I'm not going to do it. Let's just... Jonathan, if you're listening to Solving for the Future, can ISF help us here? You guys work wonders across the nation. It is it's a collaborative effort. It is something that has aided through technology and proper planning and collaboration with state government. You've been able to work wonders for thousands of businesses. Can we do something with the airport?
If I could offer you a choice, the red pill or the blue pill, I'm Morpheus here. And you can have one but not the other. of legalized sports gambling.
Well, that's where I'm going.
Or an airport that takes you wherever you want nonstop here in Tallahassee for reasonable price.
Oh, I don't know. That's tough.
Which pill would you take?
Actually, the airport.
You would take the airport.
I think
because you just continue.
Yeah, I just bet with my bookie. Yeah, I just bet with my bookie. I don't, I think we all benefit if they legalize gambling in the state like it once was for about 5 minutes. But that's coming. I'm not worried about that. That's going to happen in 2024. But the airport,
all right.
The airport,
all right.
yeah, no, I feel good about 2024.
2024 would have that and the NCAA video game.
Boom!
What
a
year.
banner year it's going to be, buddy. And I'll tell you what. Think about this: if you can, I'm a big fan of and believe that most of the things that you can do in life together are about experiences. So let's take it on. Let's go places. Let's go do things affordably together. We could fly to places that have legalized gambling if we could just get on a flight out of Tallahassee and not have to drive to Fort Walton, Destin.
And not risk our life.
Right.
Silver Airways.
Isn't Silver Airways, is that the one I brought up the one time? And I'm like, and I said something and they were like, no, they had a crash, Jeff. They did. Somebody brought that up.
No, that was AirTran.
AirTran.
Yeah.
AirTran,
not to be confused with Z-Chain.
AirTran, the one flight I took on AirTran was very affordable down to Tampa some 20 years ago when they had flights to Tampa that were reasonable. My knees were up around my throat. I remember I was just like, well, good God, AirTran, I see where you're saving the money. This is a flight for children. But it was affordable. It was nice. It was reasonable.
I could do that for 40 minutes.
40 minutes?
Yeah.
I'll be like this for 40 minutes. Let's go.
They were the first ones.
Put on my headset and let's ride.
They were the first ones to not serve snacks and a drink. Like, sorry, flight's too short. They were ahead of the game because now that's every flight that's under 2 hours. So, all right, here's your water and perhaps some stale. Would you like 3 stale Cheez-It crackers?
No. It's the Jeff Cameron Show. 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
This is Dr. James Ryan Finn at Finn Chiropractic. In Florida, we have hurricanes, and we can predict these storms just like we can predict your health. The early warning signs of a bad health storm include neck pain, back pains, headaches. Before it turns into a catastrophic Cat 5, get in to let us get to the cause of your problem at Finn Chiropractic. Go to finnchiro.com for our online special at FENNCHIRO.com. That's Finn Chiropractic, FENNCHIRO.com, because your chiropractor loves you and there's nothing you can do about it.
You deserve a special gift this year, like a new hot tub from Pinch A Penny. Price is so low, we can't even talk about it on the radio. 50 hot tubs in stock right now. Claim yours today. Pinch A Penny on Greer Street, just off Capitol Circle Northeast.
Siri, tell me a joke. The past, present, and future walk into a bar. It was tense.
All jokes aside, the trained professionals at Mac & More Systems are serious about Apple products. For all your Mac repairs, call Mac & More Systems at 894-3622. 894-3622.
Every day, Sellers makes life a little better for homeowners, helping them find the best design ideas for their homes with the best quality tile, carpet, and hardwood flooring. Even mosaics, ceramic, and vinyl solutions are at their fingertips in their remarkable showroom. Maybe it's time for you to get the Sellers advantage for your home or office. Find them on Capitol Circle Northeast, just north of Mahan Drive, or online at sellerstile.com. For style, quality, and design, get the Sellers advantage. In Tallahassee, call 656-8453.
We understand how important it is to have transportation you can rely on. So no matter what the road ahead brings, we'll be there, offering you and your family the support that's made Farm Bureau Insurance a trusted name for over 70 years. You deserve more. You deserve a promise.
I'm Andy Cohen with Florida Farm Bureau Insurance. Please call me at 850-671-FARM.
Hey Tallahassee, it's Sarah with Seminole Auto Glass. You're probably driving right now, which means you're surrounded by glass. Did you know that each piece is made differently? Your windshield is 2 sheets of glass with a thin plastic in between. This allows it to take an impact without going all the way through. Side and back glasses are typically tempered. This strengthening process is what allows them to be shattered in the event of an emergency. Regardless of the glass or how it breaks, we can help. Trust your local auto glass experts. Seminole Auto Glass, proudly serving the Big Bend for over 15 years. Better call Seminole.
There's fun to be had every night at the Corner Pocket. Take home prizes on Trivia Tuesdays and Beer Bingo Thursdays. And kickstart your weekend with Martini Fridays. Plus, happy hour runs every weekday and game day specials every time the Noles take the field. Watch all the best games at the Corner Pocket's Vegas wall, featuring 560 inches of flat screen TV heaven.
Oh, really?
The best food, the best drinks, and the best place to watch all the games. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Jeff Cameron Show brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road and Northside in the Village Common Shopping Center. Online at orangetheoryfitness.com.
All right. So away we go, and wagers, as we call it a day.
Okay.
Go ahead and give everybody your.
All right.
Did you do some prize picks, by the way?
I did not, and that was just a really hearty cough.
Mm.
That all right got me.
You okay?
Yes, I am. All right. So to share with the folks, there's no graphic for this, Director Matthew. So this is just get out your pencil and your paper.
Your paper.
You got to move the lines here. It's more than a tease. You got to move the lines a little bit.
Hey,
to gate the
sometimes
value.
you got to move the lines, baby.
All right.
You're going to take favorites,
Yes.
or you're going to give yourself negative odds, but you're going to pile them together so they become positive odds because you need multiple things to happen at once. That's how this works, kids.
Correct. Just on the other side of even in a couple of these cases.
Yeah.
So the Bills are favored by 13.5, I think
You're
it is.
going to go ahead and spin that down to 6.5.
5.5. I want the insurance at 6.
Why? That's not a big number. 6.5 is
well,
where it's at.
Just in case they dilly-dally. I like it. I will pay for the extra insurance there.
Okay, well,
That's what I'm doing.
You definitely are.
The cost I'm taking on.
6.5 would work.
Cincinnati at 2.5. All right. So you're piecing this together. Buffalo 5.5, Cincinnati and 2.5. And I just got a weird feeling that the Niners and Seahawks game is going to be very close. Ugly. A little 17,
There's no evidence
14.
to that end, but I understand what you're saying.
Purdy throws a couple of picks,
Yeah,
whatever.
right. So San Fran minus 9.5 for Seattle. UT's
Right.
down to what?
To a money line straight up winner.
Oh, goodness.
All right.
gracious.
So it sounds
Why
like
not 2.5? You could give yourself more money.
No, that's all right.
All
It's all
right.
right. I'm paying for the insurance. The peace of mind. It's like a good security system. So San Francisco to win, the Bengals minus 2.5, and the Bills minus 5.5. These are all very favorable to me.
At plus what? Do you
106.
get? Yeah, plus 106.
It's just
All
about. It's a little better than even money.
Yeah.
I like it.
I was gonna say we're gonna get the Jimbo. I went Tampa Bay and Dallas under 45.5 for the total. I did not share your concerns for San Francisco's battle with Seattle and decided to only tease it down to 6.5 and marry it with my under with the Tampa Bay Dallas game. So
Okay.
that now we have overwhelmingly plus odds. We're in good shape
you're
here.
in real good shape.
And then I took, and this is the one where it's a kicker. This is I'm going to need Trevor to show up. I'm going to take the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Ooh, man.
I'm going to take the Here you go, Butts fans.
I like this next level play, though, because you built in an advantage that you can go chase on Sunday if you need to.
That's right.
You'll know by Saturday night.
Butts fans. Here we are in honor of cigarettes and home pregnancy kits and the landing. I'm taking the Jacksonville Jaguars, proper representation, symbols of Jacksonville, on the money line over the Chargers.
Wow.
On the money line over the Chargers. Now, you group those three together, and you've got plus odds for days.
360?
Yeah. In that neighborhood.
Okay.
Yeah.
If it was actually 360, I'd be impressed.
So there it is. I once saw Phil Mickelson miss a 2-foot putt sitting at the landing, eating wings.
I was going to say, you're not alone. A lot of people have seen him miss a 2-foot putt.
I'm just telling you, I saw that one time and thought, my question to you, since your household cares deeply about this next one.
All right.
You like the Giants plus 3.5 against the Vikings?
I don't. I like the Vikings in that game.
I like the Vikings to win. I think it's going to be a close game.
The previous one certainly was.
I think the Giants are going to run the ball all over Minnesota. And there's evidence to that end.
There is. I don't think this is where Minnesota lays its egg. I think that comes next. They're gonna.
Yeah, they're not. That's not a good team despite the record. They're an okay team. They got too many problems. They got a lot of good players, though.
They got a good coach, too, who schemes it up.
I love their coach. Their coach has won them more games this year than they should have won, and thus the expectations are real high. It reminds me of all those years Mike Martin would take certain teams to the College World Series only to add to the ledger of times that he didn't win it in the College World Series, and people would get mad and be like, no, this isn't the year. The year to get mad is when they were favorites.
Right.
The year to get mad is when they were the 1 seed. Don't get mad when he takes an average-ass team out there and loses.
No, in this case, I mean, Justin Jefferson leads the league in receiving yards again. It's not like Thielen's in his prime.
No,
it's not like Dalvin
no,
was kicking ass.
No.
That's impressive. Everybody knows it's going to him. It still does.
Good work out of you, sir. Thank you, Director Matthew. Be well, everybody. Libations Friday edition tomorrow. Hey, we'll celebrate it to be good. Peace.